Okay, here's your feedback on this. Difference of cosine says cosine times cosine of alpha and beta plus sine of those two angles. Here's the values. Check to see if you have the right exact values. If you do, the algebra is pretty easy from there. There's the final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 3 now. I like starting with 4 because it just shows you why they're rewriting it. And 3, though, they did that for you already. So here's what I want you to realize. They gave us a value of 19 pi over 12 to begin, but then these ones are the more common ones, right? Like 3 pi over 4 means its reference angle is pi over 4. All right, so basically they started with an angle of 285 degrees. You can write that above if you want. And they broke 285 to 150 plus 135, which we can find the exact values of those, not 285. Okay, so when we say they say find the exact values of sine and cosine, use this. They already broke it up for you. And I don't really care in your work if you choose to write it as these radians or if you want to write it as 150 and 135. It's not going to really matter. Okay, so go ahead and write this down. So sine of u plus v equals, here's the pattern that the formula says, sine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle plus cosine first, sine seconds. Again, I don't care if this says sine of 150 and cosine 135 and cosine 150 sine 135. In the end, the next step has to be the same. Okay, so for 5 pi over 6, these are out of the first quadrant. So remember, they're probably going to be negative. So I put the sketch for 5 pi over 6 right up here. Because that's 150 degrees. I have a 30-degree reference angle, and I'm using this triangle to figure that out, right? Okay, so sine of this triangle is 1/2. Okay, so here's the sketch for the 3 pi over 4 as well. You could use that to get negative square root 2 here, and then positive square root 2 over 2. All right, so we multiply. I have two negatives here. So when I add them together, this is my final answer. Okay, let's do what we did last problem. You try the cosine of alpha plus beta. Let's see if you can apply the formula though, and then get your exact value. You'll use the same sketches though, so you don't have to recreate those. Let's try the second part of this. All right, here's first part of cosine. There's the right formula. And then I can go find those. So cosine of this sketch is the negative square root of 3 over 2. The foundation's already laid. So these are all the values that we get from those sketches. And there's the final answer. Notice I have a negative times negative here, so we'll make it positive. So there we go. Okay, so when you're working through these problems in the book, just a heads up here on a couple things. 7's a lot like our intro. We're just trying to show you the difference. I can't distribute those, so you're going to use the formula like you're supposed to for 7a. And then B, you don't have to use the formula. You just find this, and then you find that, and then you add them together. All right, and you should notice a difference. When you get to this set of problems, you can skip the tangent again. We're just working on sine and cosine. Sometimes they already broke up the angle for you. Okay, but the last one I'm going to have you try, they didn't. 24 is going to be your last problem, and I want you to figure out a way to rewrite 15 degrees using common angles, just like we did with negative 15. Okay, so you rewrite 15 degrees using a sum or difference. It's up to you. Okay, all right, so here's the OTI I want you to do. Okay, that's it. It's only 4 problems, but each of them have 2 parts to it. So it's really 8 problems. I should see maybe some sketches. I know sometimes you memorize some of them, so maybe not sketches for every problem, but I should see some work. I should see some formulas, everything we just did. Let's see all that work for those problems there, okay?